All the way from Chicago, the Treyguey Podcast.
Hey, what's going on, man? We're here again with another episode. What's up, Camaso?
Good. I'm chilling.
Chilling.
We got a very special guest.
Yeah, we got a very special guest. Right around the holidays, we're introducing Angel Ivan Cruz from Chicago. Yo. It's a hometown artist. We're happy to have you, man. Welcome.
Good to be here.
How you doing? You good?
Good.
Yeah,
man. Thank you guys for having me.
Hey, no, welcome.
So it is around the holidays.
Oh shit!
And I wanted to get in that spirit, so I got a little something for you. I think we could do.
Oh shit!
What do you think about doing a little dress up?
Oh shit!
And you want to play the colonizer?
Damn, wildin'.
The colonizee.
Hey.
Or the female colonizer.
My man out here wildin'.
You guys.
Yo.
Where'd you guys get this?
So we're coming up with we're coming close to Thanksgiving. We're like 2 weeks out.
Yo.
So for me, I got a big head, so I'm not gonna pick the hat.
Well, I don't know. Like, I know my history on Thanksgiving, and I do not want to be a colonizer. So
damn, at least we left out.
Yeah, I'll definitely take this.
All right,
Be
cool.
the female colonizer.
All right, cool.
All right, let me replace this.
We doing this now, then? That's what we're doing. All right.
Why not? Let's go to the front, right? Right?
Yes.
Hell yeah, boy.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, put that shit on, boy.
Damn. Yo, how's this gonna work? Hey, good thing beats. Good thing they extend.
Yeah.
I don't know if they extend to. Let's see. All right, look.
Dang, you look dope. Yeah, hell yeah. Shit, that fits you.
That's you.
Yeah.
That's you, right? No, for real. Yo,
Yeah.
that's you, boy.
How you think I look?
You look pretty.
Yeah. I just came back from churning butter.
Oh, shit.
So.
Oh, it actually does look kind of cool.
Yeah. Looks dope. Looks dope.
Take a picture?
Hey.
Yeah.
Hey, let's get it.
Cool.
Okay. Yeah. So get into Thanksgiving. Let's do modern and not the colonized times.
Yeah.
Mount Rushmore of Thanksgiving sides.
Say that again?
What's your Mount Rushmore? Your top 4, like your top food, like when you're eating Thanksgiving dinner or lunch.
Oh, what I like to eat?
Yeah.
I'd say love turkey.
Turkey. Okay.
Love ham. My mom makes like arroz con gandules.
Really? Okay.
You're Puerto Rican?
Yeah. Well, so funny story. I'm a little bit of everything. I got an ancestry test. And I figured out what I was, right? So I'm 24% Filipino.
No shit.
24% Portuguese. 21% Spaniard. 9% Puerto Rican. Jewish. Bali. Like I'm just all these things.
Damn.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. So somebody lied.
Yeah, somebody lied. Yeah.
Someone was like,
Abuelito.
Yeah.
He was running around.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Abuelito was wilding.
something was happening.
Yeah.
But it's kind of a funny story because my grandma came from Puerto Rico to Chicago for a better life, and then things kind of happened down the road. But there's the story is we're from Puerto Rico.
Okay.
But no one talks about anything because like my dad's side, so I get my Portuguese side from my mom, and I get my Filipino side from my dad.
Yeah.
Because his nickname was Chino because he had these chinito eyes, which is kind of offensive.
Okay.
But that was his nickname.
Right.
And then so he didn't know he was Filipino at all because his mom didn't tell him because his dad was never in his life. So it was just like my grandma and my dad, and he was an only child. So growing up, there was like, oh yeah, you're Puerto Rican, that's it. And I just was like, see, like there's something else.
There's more than that, right? There's more than that.
So circling quick back to the using the word chino and it's being offensive. I don't know if like Latinos necessarily use the word chino to be offensive. Yeah, we may call a Korean un chinito. Yeah. But I think we characterize people by their physical features because we are every physical feature.
Yeah. It's a Latino thing to give a unique thing.
Latinos are black, are Asian, are Native American, are European. We're basically everything. Yeah. So to distinguish each other, we just call each other by, chino.
The closest thing that
or moreno or whatever, right? Or güero.
Flaco.
Right. And we just use physical features because we are everything.
Yeah. Apestoso.
Yeah, right.
Right. You've never sour.
Exactly.
So what part of Puerto Rico, like?
I don't really know, but from my family that does live over there is from San Sebastián. Okay. But I don't know if that's exactly it because the history on where my family exactly came from has gotten really like, I don't know. It's like in my family, we don't really talk about it. Like I can ask my grandma where we're from and it should just be like Puerto Rico.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So let's circle back to the original question.
Yeah. Thanksgiving.
Turkey, ham, arroz con gandules,
and then sweet potato pie.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah.
Is that a traditional it's like Puerto Rican dish?
No, it's a sweet potato pie. So I used to go. There was this lady that I went to, and I feel like I'm going into all these stories, but you guys don't mind that, right?
No. That's what we're here for.
So there was this lady. Her name was Sister Jones. My mom's really religious.
Okay.
She's an evangel. And Sister Jones always used to bring me sweet potato pie. And I didn't like sweet potato pie, but she'd always bring it during Thanksgiving. And I was like, okay, like, let me try this, like, whatever. She's like, here, she just gave me a pie for free. I'm like, whatever, I'll try it. I'm like, oh, man, this is amazing. So ever since then, and she passed away a couple of years ago, so I've never had sweet potato pie since. But that's been like a tradition in my mind. Like, it's not Thanksgiving unless you have some sweet potato pie on the side,
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Javi?
Yeah.
Being Latino Mexican specifically, man, my mom is a little more traditional. I can't remember when was the last time she did a turkey? I think like 2 years ago. So she would usually hit us with tamales, pozole, which is still delicious.
Yeah.
But I don't mind it at all. I don't mind it. All I know is that Thanksgiving is American holiday. So I kind of appreciate that, we all sit down. Of course, nobody likes to work so having the day off is awesome. But I appreciate that, coming from a Latino family, she throws in that Latino dish, Still love turkey, don't get me wrong. It's just sometimes it's not on the table. So
yeah.
What about you, bro?
So for me, my dad is a chef for like a private kitchen. So he knows how to cook American food, and Thanksgiving is the one holiday we use to eat, traditional American meal. So if I had to pick my top 4 sides, I'm going mashed potatoes.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Macaroni cheese, stuffing. I think some people call it dressing. And my 4th is probably like a sautéed asparagus.
Asparagus?
Oh, shit. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Fancy Thanksgiving.
No, my dad throws down. He definitely throws down.
Yeah.
There's only one drawback to asparagus, though.
Pee?
He knows. And it's probably not too great for your girl either.
Getting
the cards come out, bro.
Getting down.
I mean, that's what they say. I don't know from experience, but that's what they say.
Okay.
That's the dessert. That's the dessert.
That's your birthday.
That's the
Oh, fuck.
Hey, that's the reason they call him Cremazo. Oh man. So, where does your dance career like really start? Like growing up?
Oh, this is a good story. So when I was 16, I dated this girl, and it was her quinceañera.
Okay.
And she invited me. Back then, like mind you, when I was 16, I was chubby.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Hey, yo, we gotta get a picture, bro.
Oh
yeah. You gotta find a picture.
I gotta find one.
Yeah.
I like to in my mind, I like to bury that past because it's not the most, But
okay.
It's probably what made me.
Yeah.
So she invited me to her quinceañera. I get there. It's in the back of her house that she was staying in. There's like a little tent. There's like a one light in the middle of the tent. There's a DJ booth, and like it's like all concrete floors. There's like a little bench on the side, and they put bachata on, and she asked me to dance, and it's just me and her, and like her family's there all watching, like, oh my god, they're gonna dance.
Oh shit, yeah.
And she asked me to dance. I'm like, nah, I can't do this. Like, I can't. She's like, come on. I'm like, no. She's like, come on. And she's pulling my arm. And she's pulling me. I'm like, no. And then finally I ripped back. I was like, no, I can't do this. And then she's like, fine, I'll go dance with somebody else. And I was like whatever.
Fine.
And like it hurt. I was like, whatever. And then she goes and she grabs this guy, and they just dance bachata in front of me. And this is when bachata was like they were doing basic.
They were doing the hip,
right?
Yeah.
And it just was so beautiful to me. And I was like, God. And I sat there, and internally, I'm just like killing myself. Like, God, why couldn't you just do this? And I was in so much pain.
So you didn't do it because you were shy or because you didn't know how to dance?
I didn't know how to dance. I was afraid, man.
Okay.
I couldn't muster up the courage to get up and dance with my girlfriend at the time and her parents in front of everyone.
Oh, she was your girlfriend?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. First girlfriend ever, man.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you know the first one.
Yeah,
the first one's like
the first one.
We're gonna get married. We're gonna do this. We're gonna have kids. Like it was just I was all there, and then the fact that I couldn't do that, it made me feel insufficient as a man.
Okay.
So I felt like I couldn't provide for my girl, because my girl's like, hey, I want to do this with you, and then as a guy to be like, no, I can't do that.
And especially seeing like another guy taking out your girl and dancing.
Yeah,
right?
and like you just got staring, like watch that the entire time.
Yeah.
It sucked. It hurt so much. But ever since that day, I was like, I never ever want to go through that feeling again. Yeah. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna dance. I'm gonna figure it out, and then shit, here I am. Then I was like, what else did I want to do? And I got into IT, and like IT was paying the bills because like I went through like a really big disaster in my family, so I had to kind of step up to the plate and do that.
Okay. And
then after that kind of stabled out, I just was like, you know what, like let me see what this dance thing is like. Then I started going to these big events, like CSPF, just taking classes pretty much all around the world. Because of my job, they sent me out to Europe for a little bit. I took some classes out there at some like couple events. I was like took classes in Munich, some in Frankfurt. So like I kind of traveled around a little bit, and I feel like that's when I started taking it seriously, because the way that they train over there and the way that we train over here is just drastically different. Like in Europe, like this can be a career. Dance can be a career. In the States, dance is more kind of like a recreational thing. It's more like, like whatever.
But how's that communicated to everybody that this could be a career? Like
just the way that they treat it, the level, the standard, like the unspoken rule. Like, if a bachatero comes into a room, right, and he's like well known, everyone just kind of like the room kind of gets quiet. They're just like, oh, he's here. Yeah, like if the Ataka would walk in this room and now we'd just be like, oh shit, because we know who he is and like his capabilities. In the States, it's not really like it's not really like that. It's just more like, oh, you're a dancer, like cool, like if I meet Bob on the street and I tell him what I do for a living, he'll just be like, oh, cool,
right?
So you think non-dancers respect the dancers in Europe?
I think it's more of a yeah, I think it's more of a respected thing, because to be a dancer,
it's more like a respected of what you do for a living.
Yeah, and it's like I guess all the work that it takes to become a dancer, it's hard, It's not like, because people look at being a dancer as just like, oh, you go out and social dance and it's fun, but it's like so much more than that. Like it takes all the preparation, like doing your counts, being creative with people around, because I don't know, like what I teach is more not just dancing bachata, but also the emotional aspect of it. Like, when I'm on the dance floor and I fuck up, like how do I deal with that emotion?
Yeah.
Because she's looking at me.
Yeah.
I'm looking at myself. All my friends are looking at me. And like, how do I deal with that feeling of like, fuck, I just fucked up?
Yeah.
Yep. So that's why I try to kind of touch on more, because I feel like as dancers, we talk about your technique and talk about your counts. We don't talk about the feeling of it. And that's what I want to do. I want to talk about like more of like, like how to deal with this emotional aspect when because it doesn't just start off in the dance floor. It starts off way before then. It has to do with your upbringing. But yeah, I feel like I'm going on a little banter right now. But yeah.
I got you.
Yeah.
Critique something that you don't like from the States, and critique something that you didn't like from Europe.
I don't have a lot to critique from Europe, because I feel like they're way more advanced than us in the States when it comes to like dancing.
Really?
Yeah, like sensual. They're on that level, but of course the standard over there it's just different. Like they're just like there's things that we have here in the States that they don't have over there, because everyone dances sensual over there, right? But if you talk to them about the fusions, they're just like, huh? What are the fusions? And in the States we have fusions. We have got guys from LA, here in Chicago. We got a couple cats that are doing things that are just a little bit different.
Yeah.
So I think critique wise, I think we're both beautiful in different aspects. So I don't really like to compare, saying which one's better than the other. But I do believe that us in the States have something beautiful, and I think Europe has something beautiful too. You know, so I don't know. I like to kind of stay away from who's better and who's worse. Yeah. I think in the States here, what we have is originality. We got creativity. We've got people who are not afraid to go out of the box and do something different. You know, and I really do like that about like our dancers, our directors. You know, like they're just proud to be a part of them. You know? Yeah.
So when we started off, we introduced you as Ivan Cruz.
Yeah.
But I feel like I know you as Angel Cruz.
Yeah.
So walk me through that transformation.
So I went out to LA and there was another Angel out there, and he does fusion too, and he's such a fucking good dancer. He's amazing. And what happened is, like, when we would talk amongst each other, it'd be like, oh, you're Angel, but they would think he's the Angel, but they'd be talking about me. So the buzz is kind of like there's a lot of Angels, so it's like, and I don't want it to get confused because like he's an awesome fusion dancer and I want him to excel just as much as I do, but we have to kind of like decipher which Angel's which.
Did LA Angel had a middle name?
No.
Okay.
His Angel Rodriguez.
Rodriguez. Yeah. Okay.
He's super cool. He has this like his moves are so like hip hoppy. Like he's just like me. Like the minute we met each other, we clicked, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah.
So that's where you distinguish like the go, because you're introducing yourself as Ivan Cruz now, right?
Yeah.
It's official here in the Treyguey Podcast.
Yeah. Ivan Cruz, yo.
Hey, there you go. Yeah, don't call him Angel anymore.
Because I told somebody, oh, we're interviewing you, and they're like, oh, you're interviewing Angel Martinez.
Yeah. So because there's another Angel here, there's an Angel there, so it's like, you know what? Let's just decipher it out. I'll just be Ivan, and then that way, everyone knows. Yeah.
Did you ever think about going with like complete alias, like a stage name like Ataka, or like because like I'm thinking, to me, like I think those stage names stand out so much more. Mm-hmm. Like I think Jorge and Tanya don't go as far as Ataka y La Mana. Mm-hmm. Dwayne Johnson doesn't catch as much attention as The Rock.
Yeah.
Yeah. So did you ever think about doing that? Something like that?
I have. And it's kind of hard to like pick out your own like nickname.
Yeah.
It's kind of be like I thought about that. I was like, maybe I could do a virtuoso, maybe something like cool. But then I was like, if I'm giving myself a nickname, I feel like that's a little bit arrogant.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'd rather like, get my name out there. Everyone knows me as Ivan, and then someone can
calls you a nickname.
Exactly. And then you're given a nickname, and I'm sure they picked out those names themselves, but I try to stay as authentic and as me as possible. So Ivan's already my middle name. Like my entire family has known me as Ivan until I had a Facebook. Like no one knew my name was Angel. Yeah, because my dad's name is Angel, so technically I'm an Angel Jr., but I'm not. I'd like to. Yeah.
So if we're keeping it authentic, what was your nickname growing up?
I never had a nickname growing up.
Really?
Yeah, I was looking for a nickname. Like I thought it
you
was
wanted one.
Yeah, I did. I was like.
Did all your cousins have nicknames?
No, not really. Well, my cousin, I got a cousin Goonie. He's got a nickname. Pete, Lewis, Keisha, Cece, but that's all like their actual names. Yeah. Goonie's the only one that had a nickname because Goonie was like, he's like probably like 6'1", big stocky dude, and just was like he looked like super intimidating, but he just was this cool like you ever meet someone who's like looks super intimidating, but the minute you talk to them, they're like really like
soft.
Yeah, not soft, but like delicate and very like cool and warm and welcoming. But they have this like hard shell exterior. So that's why we call him Goonie, because he's like, but he was just super cool. Yeah. So
did you have a nickname?
Yeah, I was gonna ask you that. Yeah, damn. So we're going in on nicknames. My nickname growing up was Chacalilis.
Chacalilis.
Yeah. I had no idea. I've asked on my dad's side, out of all my cousins, like I got like 30 cousins, but I'm on the younger end. So I asked my older cousin, like, "Yo, who came up with this nickname?" And it's all finger pointing, like, "Oh, that person gave you the name." And when I was younger, it kind of bothered me a little, but now that I got older, like I kind of embrace it. If someone calls me that now today, I know like, oh damn, you've known me since I was a baby.
Like, yo, you're the real one.
Yeah. So
hey, Chacalilis.
Yeah,
like that. Oh,
yeah. Okay. And it's so unique that if I hear it, I know to turn around.
So what is that? What does Chacalilis mean?
I don't know. I've asked what it means.
Was it because you can pronounce something and then that's how you would like pronounce?
I had it since a baby before I could speak.
Chacalilis, huh?
I thought it was from El Chacal, from Sábado Gigante.
Yeah,
They have,
Francisco.
yeah. But I don't know if I'm older than that show, yeah.
It's no longer around.
I know. Yeah,
Sounds like a pretty flower.
yeah, right. Yeah,
Chacalili.
right. What about you, Javi?
I had two. One was like the hood nickname, and by hood I mean like my cousins, right? And then one was from like my mom. So like family, mom, dad, they used to call me Jordi. And I think it was because of a cartoon, like a Mexican cartoon. I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, ma. So that was the house nickname, and then like outside in the hood, it was Porky, because I was a chubby.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh shit, we're both chubby.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Embrace that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So that was it, man. Yeah.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
How'd you get those nicknames? Just
The Porky was obviously right because I was chubby, and then the Jordi I really don't know. I think it's because of the cartoon that I was saying.
Yeah, you say something funny, like that's your nickname. So a lot of things you're talking about are things that you can control. Do you have any techniques that you can help change the emotional state of your partner?
yeah. Smile. That's it.
Smile? Okay.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Okay.
Like just like
Continuous smile.
not like
Like
Right. Not like creepy ass smile.
because
yeah,
it happens, right?
Yeah, you could be a creepy
Yeah.
smiler. Yeah.
I've gotten those girls that like constantly look at me and like as I'm doing a crossbody and then she's like still looking at me like, oh shit, like what do you do?
So you want to smile, but eye contact is hard.
Yeah.
You can't just like, some people take eye contact as like a very intimidating thing. So like they start
Super.
from here and they're like, over here. So you kind of have to do it in doses, like just let the person know that you're present and that you're here. So, wait, question again one more time. I kind of got
The
lost.
question was, what techniques do you use to affect the emotional state of your partner in those 2 minutes and 30 seconds?
Smile and just be the best you.
Okay.
Yeah, I like to just kind of be present, put the energy in, because a lot of times it's hard because like I've had this on multiple occasions where I'll bring that energy, but my follow is not bringing that energy. And they're just like, no matter how hard I try, I can't connect with them. And what I do is the minute I start to feel that, okay, you need space. So you give them space. You don't try to make them feel better. You just give them their own time.
Right.
And then you have your own time with yourself. Because the minute you're having a good time with you, then the person might sway around. But even if they don't, you still have a good time with you. Because
with
really, at the end of the day, it's all about how you feel.
Yeah.
Not in a selfish way, but in a self-aware type of way. Like
live your fucking best life.
Exactly.
So how does that play out? Like you're at a higher energy than she is. You say give her space. Does that literally mean like you pull away, maybe have a one-hand connection? Are you kind of doing more footworky stuff? Like what exactly happening?
I do more footworky stuff. I kind of break off and I'll do my own thing, blah, blah. And then once it comes back to it, we come back to it. 9 times out of 10, when I come back to it, the feeling won't be the same.
Okay.
Either one thing will happen where she's gonna be like, why you showing off and shit? I was like, well, I was trying to dance with you at first, but then you don't want to dance with me, so I need to dance with myself. Is that my fault or yours?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So, and another one is like when I come back, then it's like, okay, cool. because it comes down to trust as a follow. Like follows need to be able to trust you as a dancer in order to really connect with you. Because if you're coming in and you're doing a bass, you like, say we just started a song, you're already starting with the basic. You haven't even done two basics at first. You're rushing them. You can't leads. If anybody's listening to this, take at least 2 basics. It's just like sex. You need foreplay.
Okay.
Yes, you can't just go in raw dogging, y'all.
That's what you're doing wrong.
You need to lubricate. You need to lubricate.
This guy's trying to go in.
Yeah, you can't go straight in. You just got to give it time to kind of get the engines going, because you have to build trust. Like it has to be like, okay, here's my basic, cool. Here's the inside turn. Here's my outside turn. Here's my close position. Here's my hips. Boom, boom, boom. Here's my musicality. Cool. You want to dance on it? Bet. Let's go.
Lick their neck.
Oh, you licking necks now, man?
Yeah, I lick necks and he blows in the ears.
Especially after tacos.
Oh,
that smell too.
Yeah.
There's nothing like onion, right? Just
onion
right in your nose.
Cilantro. No, but yeah, man, that's awesome. Like I've gotten those dances where I don't feel the energy. It was like, it makes you think that she's not enjoying the dance, and it's like, damn, like am I doing something wrong?
Mm-hmm.
So I like that little chemistry, behind your way of teaching,
Yeah.
You're speaking bachata, but can you also do this like salsa, souk, kizomba?
Yeah, so my dad was a salsero, and I tried to dance salsa, and right now I'm not at the place I want to be, but at least I'm trying.
Okay.
Because there was a point in time, like when I first started dancing bachata, I was like, I would never dance salsa, and it was just it was my arrogant young side,
Yeah.
thinking that like that was the way to go, but it's not the way to go. So Zouk, I've dabbled in it a little bit.
Okay.
I just Zouk is just not like for me, because I'm very big on like smells. So like if I'm like dancing with someone and they're like BO is like like it hits me in the face, I can't do it. Like
Okay.
yeah. Like
Wait, what about Zouk? It gets more smelly.
It's just if you ever walk into a Zouk room, a bachata room, a salsa room, it all smells differently.
Really?
Really?
Yes.
Oh,
I don't know if
shit.
anyone else catches it, but I do. Like if I watch the bachata room, it's got this like heavy, thick, like everyone's just been having sex this in the last 2 hours. That's what it smells like to me.
No wonder you don't come out of the bachata room.
That carne seca.
Salsa feels like everyone's cardio, like you're breaking a sweat. It's kind of
It has that you just sweated outside, you came back in the house smell.
yes, like you
Okay,
just
I
went
know
out
that
for
smell.
a jog, you
Yeah.
came back in, and then Zouk has this unique smell to it. And I can't really put my finger on what it is.
Okay.
But I don't know. Every time I walk into the Zouk room, it's just like it's never really felt like inviting. It's always felt like, oh God, like
Really?
Yeah, but I still incorporate
Damn.
like my some Zouk moves in my bachata.
Okay.
Like I posted a video on Instagram when I was back in LA with this girl. She has like beautiful curly hair, and we did this Zouk move where her head was going around, and like I didn't realize because there's this guy out in LA. He does Zouk chata. He kind of inspired me to kind of incorporate this Zouk flowy, like, feeling thing to it. So I try to take everyone's styles and kind of like mix it together because at the end of the day, we're all just fusions. So, but yeah, that's my stance on.
So
on
do you
Zouk.
think you're bringing a little bit of both senses into one?
I try to.
Yeah.
I try to give everybody
Like the smell of souk and then the smell of bachata?
per se, yeah, hell yeah, like it's a little bit of both, So
What do you think a merengue room will smell like?
Ooh.
I've never been to merengue room. I can't say. Even though it's really big in New York, right? I think merengue is like huge over there.
Right, I mean, the big Dominican.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They still play that. They bump that shit.
Yeah, like when I was like like 16, like 17, like they were huge on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in Chicago right now, it's just kind of like
If you had to guess, what would it smell like?
what would a merengue room smell like? I'd say probably a crossbreed between salsa and bachata. Probably.
Okay.
All right.
I'd say like it'd be like you definitely are sweating a little bit. There's gonna be some turns. There's some passion to it too. There's a lot of but like it's fun. I think it's fun. Everybody can get along with it.
Yeah.
What do you think it'll smell like?
A merengue, I think it will be like a fruity smell. Something fruity, sweet. If I have to, like a fabuloso. The cleaning supplies.
Like a
that.
laundromat, what you're saying?
Yeah, a little bit like that, yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Palo also smells good though.
With sweat though.
Oh.
Because you're always boom, boom, boom,
Yeah.
dropping the sweat.
Okay. I think it would smell like that under your ball smell.
What?
Damn,
No,
boy.
hold on.
I want to know how you reached there first.
Hold on. But you smelled your balls.
You,
Balls have a unique smell.
damn.
And the reason I say this is because so merengue, you probably have a smaller base, and you're kind of moving in place, so a lot more thighs,
Like rubbing, a lot of more rubbing.
action. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see that. I see
So
what
you're
you're
gonna
doing.
generate that type of smell.
Damn.
Yeah. I mean, like your logic behind it. But like, it's gonna
Do you
smell a
think-
bit like balls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think all balls smell the same?
Ooh, I've never smelled any other pair of balls.
Treyway after hours or what? All crazy.
But
That's
there is a
crazy.
locker room smell for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is that? Ass?
Everything, ass,
Yeah.
balls.
I can't explain
Yeah.
that, dude.
Yeah.
It depends on who's in the locker room,
Right.
what specific time of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Y'all
Even
don't-
what sport?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh god, yeah. Football.
Like football pads? Yeah, right.
Man, are you single?
No, yes.
Yeah.
And like it's like I don't know. Here's my belief on it.
Okay.
I believe in freedom.
Okay.
Right. So my mom growing up took away a lot of my freedom. Like I couldn't pick out my own clothes. Like, I couldn't say specific things. Like there was just a lot of shit that I couldn't do. So now when I get older, it's like, and I start dating somebody, it's like, okay, you can't dance with other girls. You can't do this. And I'm like,
yeah, like it's not going to work out.
Like,
Right. Yeah.
That's not going to happen. So I look at it as more of like, that I don't believe in monogamy. I do think that it helps certain people in their lives, and I totally applaud them. I've been to tons of weddings, and I've stood up in my buddy's wedding because it's what makes him happy. But in my life, because I've had a lot of like freedom taken away from me, I search and yearn for freedom and more of the ability to be myself and be more open and more forward with my love with everybody, because it's not just with one person, because I just feel like love is not singular. I feel like love is very much so plural, meaning like if I love this cup, right, I'm not only going to love this cup for the rest of my life. Right. I'm also going to love my phone. I'm going to love this jacket. I'm going to love you too, and that's just the way love works. Yeah. So, I do believe, however, that you can dedicate primarily most of your love to something, but I just don't like when someone tells me that you can only do this and this is, and then I need to sign a contract to stating this, and I don't
report back to you and shit.
Exactly. I don't like that. I don't like having a warden. That's not really like, my style. So, yeah.
So it's interesting how you kind of got to that logic, from your personal history, and I kind of agree with you. Like, there's more to than monogamy, and but I kind of, the way I sort of got to that place is that I don't know. I just like I'm a man. Like I know how men think. Talking to enough men, how they think. We're all looking, and we wanna taste other flavors, even though just because you're with your girl, you're still gonna look. You still want to try, but even if you want, to be with another woman or another partner, that doesn't mean you love your current partner any less.
Yeah.
And to deny yourself that, like, I don't know, it kind of seems like
you can't.
You're hurting you might be hurting that relationship because you're denying yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. And even for me, I think it's open relationships are good. On both sides. Yeah. For both people to be open.
Yeah. It's just hard because it takes a lot of work.
It does. It takes. You know what? Talking to other people who are in open relationships, they say that they're more communicative. They talk more about their feelings because you have to be, because like you're doing other stuff, so you have to be upfront.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I also think that have you been into open relationship?
I've never been in a relationship, but I'm not gonna say no to it.
Okay, you'll try it. I haven't myself. Have you?
Try it.
Yeah. So like, I don't know. This is just my guess. I mean, but I feel like also going into a relationship from either party, I kind of think that you kind of have to hold yourself back, because eventually when you're like doing any kind of relationships, you start building emotions, right? So does it ever get to that point where like damn, I think I'm catching feelings for you, to the point where like kind of would just want you to be for with me only?
So that's that singular love I was telling you about.
Yeah,
that's where it's like I want this only for myself, and I think what people don't realize is that like, even though like this is here, like I don't know, I look at it like this. It's like, if I have a boat, right? I can't keep my boat at dock, because if I keep it at dock, it can never be a boat. It has to set sail. How can you call yourself a boat if you're not like going in waters and going directions? That's what's the beauty of it. When the sun hits the water, the sun hits the boat. That's the beauty of it, right? But when it comes back, that's how you know officially it's yours. And the problem is that you never really know for a fact that whether or not this love is true or authentic. Right. So you're always like guessing, like, oh shit, like, does this person really love me? Do they really care? Do they really do this? And it just comes down to, will you actually trust a person? Because it doesn't really have to do with the person. It has to do with you.
Right. Yep.
Yeah. Like, are you willing to put your heart on the line and say, you know what, like, I think that you don't really love me. I think that you're not really committed to this relationship. But I'm going to go ahead and put that test to it and say, you know what, let's see if you can actually do that. And doing that is hard, because you want to say, okay, because if I have it here and close to me, there's less variables.
More security, right?
Yeah, I feel more comfortable and safe here. And like, I was always taught that the more comfortable you feel in life, the less you're going to get ahead, right? So if I'm uncomfortable because I put my emotions out there, right, then that means I'm in some form of way I am putting myself through turmoil, but I'm also growing, you know? So I like to kind of look at relationships as more of a bigger picture of like, you know, if I love something, if I truly love something, then I'll allow it to be and allow it to like, because a bird, right? If you had a bird and you held it in your hand, it can't be a bird anymore because it can't fly. Right. But if you let the bird go, the bird will go wherever it wants. But if it comes back, then you know it was officially yours.
Yeah.
You know? So you never truly know if the love is true if you actually let it go.
Have you dealt with that where, you know, you started getting feelings towards someone and then you went about it, you reached to the limit where you asked if it just wanted to be a one-on-one, like a two. So I exclude the open relationship out of.
So I started off with monogamous relationships for a long time. And then just recently, probably the last like couple years or so, I adapted to this new way of thinking because it's just about like love, you know, like I have been in a situation where I was like, you know what, like I do kind of want this to be more exclusive, but like, I don't know, it just, whenever I was in a monogamous relationship, it made me feel so insecure and secure at the same time, you know, because I love this person so much. I was so afraid of them doing something to hurt me.
Okay.
Right. But now it changes because it's like I love this person and I know for a fact that they might do something. That's where my security comes from, you know, because I know the variables.
Yeah.
You know, and I know that you're going to be honest about it. And I know that you're going to talk to me about it.
Right.
So I really have nothing to be really insecure about. Is it going to make me feel good at first? No. But I love you and I want you to be happy. So if your happiness doesn't include me, why am I upset about that?
Right. Just exclude me out of it.
Yeah, because it's like I want you to, because if you're dog, right? If you love your dog, you want the best for your dog. And your dog, you know that in your life you can't take care of him. And would you let that dog, you know, go to someone else so they can take care of him? Yeah, right. Because you want the best for the dog. But if you have a significant other that you care about and, you know that for some reason it's not working between you two, but you know that somebody else makes them feel good, you will not let them kind of talk to them and have a good time with them because, but it comes from a very I want it for me. And it's not for everybody. It takes a lot of work and whatever makes you happy, I feel like that's what you chase. But this is just like what I've got at my life right now. It's like I feel like this is what makes me happy. This is where I go. It's a little unconventional, but I like it because it's exciting.
Yeah, absolutely.
So everything you said, I agree with because I understand your brain as a guy. But it seems like women have more attachment when it comes to, having physical relationships. Mm-hmm. How have the women in open, or what do you think is your opinion on the women? How do they compartmentalize that in their brain to be in an open relationship?
Well, for us, we have a hard time being honest. We have,
us, you mean
like
guys?
I feel like guys, yeah. I feel like guys don't know how to be very forward about what they want from the beginning.
It goes back to what you're saying about doing the bachata thing. Is we don't know how to deal with our emotions.
Exactly.
Yeah. So this also translates to our relationships.
Mm-hmm. So it's like how do I tell this girl that I really like, she's really cool, that I like her, but I also want to date other people, but I really like her. How do I tell her that? Yeah. And it's just like you just have to be honest and be yourself. Like, because women are fucking smart. They're geniuses. I swear. They mature at such a faster rate. At the age of 16, they're already thinking about marriage and kids, and we're still like, where's my dick?
Yeah, where's my dick?
And
jerking off.
Jerking off and fighting and shit.
Cool.
Girls gone wild.
Yeah. So for them, it's like they can spot out the bullshit from the start, and if we're bullshitting them and they know it, it's like for most women that I realize they would much rather you just be forward about how you feel, because they are more in touch with their emotions than we are. Like my emotions didn't hit me until I was like 25, right? Once I hit 25, that's it. I just was like, like I was crying and I couldn't figure out why.
It's like before we're 25, we have zero brain. 25, you're like half a brain. And then hopefully you get your full brain, but
it just takes some time.
Right,
for
it does
you
take time.
To get there. Yeah. So I think if you're just honest about, and you don't have any ill intentions, it's not like, because I was in a setting, right, where I was honest with the girl about where I was at and what I was doing, and I was texting the girl while she was right next to me, and we were having an experience together. Like, oh, she just texted me this, and she said this, and she's like, oh fuck, no way, what are you gonna say back? Blah blah, you know, because you have a friendship with this person. Like you're not lying about anything. You're being honest about it. So now you have a connection with them because you're just like you're experiencing these feelings of having a new person in your life. You can also experience it with the other person, and you can kind of like build a different type of relationship because it's not just about a friendship or relationship. It's about how you love each other, you know? And for me, if I feel like love is free, then I'm going to allow this person to do whatever they want in their life that makes them happy. You want to be a stripper? I might not approve of it, but I love you, so go do what makes you happy. So
being in a relationship, what conversations have you had about safety?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So it has to be very apparent, very upfront. You know, you can't just like, I'm very selective about who I get involved with.
Okay.
I don't like to be involved with like all types of girls because I'm very like, ugh, like if I get involved with somebody, it's not like I'm not the type to like we meet and we hook up. I'm like, we meet, we like hang out for a couple months, or I know you, or I feel very secure with you for a while, and then maybe we can take it from there because I'm very, very, very picky about what I get involved with because there's so much shit out there.
You want to vibe with somebody before you even do anything.
Because it's not just about sex for me. It's so much more deeper. Because I'm, you know, like I said, I'm very sensitive and I'm very like, you know, passionate. Like I don't want it to just be like we have sex, I get up, I shower, it's like peace. Like that does nothing for me. You know,
Will you consider your, you know, sexual relationships as making love instead of having sex?
Yeah, I think it's definitely deeper than that.
Yeah.
And more of a love making thing, but it's really, sex is just another way of expression. Sex is like the same thing as bachata, except it's like bachata with clothes off, and there's more like intertwined.
So you might as well, right? Take it right. Some of the moves out there.
So with sex, are you sensual or traditional?
Depends on the mood.
Exactly. Right. Sometimes traditional's good, you know. Sometimes traditional's good, you know. Whatever you're feeling at that moment, and I think that's the beauty of it is that you can be traditional and you can be sensual and you can be traditional and sensual at the same time.
Yeah.
Fusion.
So now, we have the smell of balls in the room, right? We have the souk, the bachata,
we got balls,
right?
We got sex, we got sweat,
locker. Yo.
So are you? So coming back to safety, are there rules that you go by that like?
So it's like you have to. It's all about how you feel about the significant other, right? If like you have a conversation, you're like, "Yo, I don't feel safe if you don't have sex without a rap." Right? Cool. I don't feel safe if you don't have sex with somebody if you don't like, you know, you don't know them for some time. And what's gonna happen is what you ask for is never gonna be what you get.
Right.
So it's all about how you deal with that situation. Because, you know, again, talking about the bar, right? If I say in my mind, okay, I expect you to listen to everything that I say, I expect you to abide by those rules, and this is what you do. If you break that, I'm done with you. Right? But if you say, you know what, let's bring the bar low, I don't expect you to do anything, I'm going to ask you to do these things. If you do them, great. If you don't, we will deal with them. Because sometimes, like, you know, you'll ask for this, like, hey, I expect you to, you know, only do this with this person while doing this, and they don't do that. How do you handle that situation? Do you blow up? Do you get angry? Do you know, like,
what do you do?
Yeah, but you ask questions, and you try to, if you really do love the person, you're trying to get understanding for where they came from. Like, you know what? You know, we were just hanging out for a little bit, you know, the mood struck, and like, you know, we got to this and got to that, and like, it happens. Cause like, let's be honest, it happens.
Right.
We're humans, you know, it's not like, I can't look at you as a person who is perfect, because you're not, because I'm not perfect. So I can't expect you to always make the right decision. And when you don't make the right decision, how much love am I going to give you to really understand where you came from and to build an understanding between each other? Because what happens is, you go through one scenario once, maybe twice, maybe 3 times, depending upon who you're dealing with. And then after you go through it, you build this repetition of it, of understanding, okay, like, you know I don't like this. I know you don't like this. So I'm not going to do this because I know it's going to hurt you. You're not going to do this because you know it's going to hurt me. And so now you have this like relationship of like this understanding that it's unspoken. I don't have to say I love you 1,000 times. I don't have to be all over you, because, you know, once everything's all said and done and I lay my head down, you're right next to me.
Right.
You know? So it's like you have to build trust with that partner. You have to be able to communicate to them. You have to really be forward with them about how you're feeling and be honest with yourself, because if you're not honest with yourself about this shit, dude, it's going to blow up in your face really quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's say you're in a scenario where like the expectation was you're supposed to use a rubber, and let's say you didn't for whatever reason, do you go back to your partner and be like, yo, like, do you ever like withhold information or take time withholding information? Like,
because
at least from your end, right?
The next day you're like,
yeah,
this happened.
Because if you're honest about it from the jump, there's no surprises. Yes, that person might get upset. Yes, they're gonna be like, what the fuck, you know, like this, I asked you not to do this. Why would you do that? And that's the feeling you're going to get. But if you walk into this with that mentality, that's more of a monogamous relationship. That's what someone in a monogamous would treat you. Yeah. But when you're open, it's like you've already been honest about it. So you should not feel afraid to speak what happened. Yeah. But because this is what you've been used to for years on end, you're afraid to communicate it. Right. Because you don't want her to yell at you and you don't want her to flip out. And you don't want like that situation because it's not going to make you feel good. Because I'm just trying to be honest with you. Right. But not everybody wants like truth. They want a version of the truth and they want to kind of put it in a right way. And you really have to learn how to speak to your partner in a way that they can understand it. And that's just going to take time. But I always think honesty is key. If I'm always honest from day one, I have nothing to worry about.
There's nothing to hide.
Exactly. There's nothing to hide. I don't have to say like, I don't have to like, oh fuck, I made this lie, so I have to make another lie. Once you start one, you have to make another and another and another. And then just before you know it, it's going to blow up in your face. Yeah. So and I've had that situation where I did let it blow up in my face. So ever since then, I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just going to be completely honest. Be completely straightforward, complete direct, complete transparent. That way there are no miscommunications. You know where I'm coming from. You know how I feel. You know where I want to go. And that way, if you want to sign up for this, if you want to be with me on this, you want to have fun, let's do this. But you know exactly who I was when you started dealing with me. You know?
Yeah, I like that.
Do you ever want or try to form relationships with your partners, or have your partners have some type of friendship? Or
there's options. You can do whatever.
But what do you do? I guess what I'm asking.
So I like to look at it more of a what the vibe is. You know, like if I'm feeling like, you know, I want some outside attention. You know, like. And the universe gives it to me, then like I'm gonna experience it. You know, and same for someone else. Like one time I went to a bar. And the girl I was involved with at the time, there was this guy that was talking to her, and like she was like, oh my,
she was feeling it.
She was feeling it. And she was having so much fun, and I looked at it, and I got so angry, and I was like, fuck, man. And I realized the reason why I got so angry is because someone else was making her feel better that wasn't me, right? And then I was like, all right, if that's the thing that I'm getting, and I know this is where it's coming from. Why am I feeling this way? I was like, okay, I'm feeling this way because I want to be the only one to make her happy. But if you love her and you want her to be happy, how can you allow someone else to make her happy? Well, because you truly love her. Okay, I truly love her and I want her to be happy. Right? And then I flipped the gears and I was just like, hey, you want a drink? I asked her if she wants to drink. I asked him if he wants a drink. I said, no, cool. They kicked it. I actually drove them to the next spot we went to. Like, you know, he was next to me and he was like texting her and she was giggling in the back, you know, like all that was happening at the same time, but I wasn't getting upset about it because I know at the end of the day, that person in the back is who I care about. Yeah. Now, if you're making her happy, I'm cool with that. As long as you're not fucking hurting her, that's when we're going to have a problem. You know? Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it's like, it's kind of so you have to swallow that. Remember that ego is the enemy? Mm-hmm. You have to read that book. It's a great book. That's why I realized that it's my ego that has that feeling of, oh, I need to be this person. I need to feel this way. But really, once you let all that shit go, like just so many opportunities and things kind of open up for you.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of goes back to us being Latinos, like that machismo.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Yes. Like our culture has a lot to do with, you know, who we are now. And then, well, we are the expectations of everything in life. Mm-hmm. Is there things that you don't want to know? You know, let's just say like, like this guy was fucking me like this, blah, blah. Like, is there things that you just don't tell me about it? Yeah. Whatever you guys did, what are some of those? Like
what you said. Like, okay. I don't want to know what sexual positions you guys do. I don't want to know like how things worked out. Like, I just want to know, you know,
whether he was traditional or sensual.
Because what you realize is that like, you know, if you do your best part in every single scenario with your significant other, you have nothing to worry about. Want to know why? Is because your significant other is with you because they enjoy the things that you do, right? And that is their base.
Yeah.
And what happens is
There's that bachata hop.
Exactly. It's that little right. And if they go elsewhere, they're gonna find something different, but they're not gonna find what you have here.
Yeah.
And it's like you have to feel secure in like what you have and who you are. And you might not always be the best, but that's okay.
Kind of goes back to your style of dancing. It's different.
It's different.
Yeah, it's different. I think a lot of people know you for that.
But if your partner walks into the salsa room, you're not mad at that.
No,
because you know they're gonna come back when they need bachata.
Yeah, they need that bachata hop.
you're gonna come back eventually. So it's like you can go ahead and like you're the boat. You want to set sail. You want to go to Europe, baby. Go to Europe. I'll be right here when you get back.
So I want your opinion on something. Ideally how I would get into an open relationship would be I'm in a monogamous relationship. And eventually, we grow this friendship, this bond, and eventually we start having conversations. Well, start introducing other people, after time has passed. Do you think that can happen or
definitely can happen?
Okay.
I feel like anything can happen, man.
Okay.
Like you could meet somebody and right from the jump, you got this connection. Because when you meet someone, you just know, like you have this unspoken, like, I know this person's not going to fuck me over. So like, I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
And you can start off like as a monogamous to like build trust, build communication and have a foundation. And then from there, you can go to something bigger. But the problem when you start monogamous, you start off possessive.
Yeah.
And you start off with that feeling. So getting away from that possessive feeling, it's kind of hard.
Yeah.
And there's a transition into it. So it's more of
you're creating already a barrier that you need to break down.
Yeah. You have to, and not just break it down. You have to like dismantle it and then restructure it afterwards. Yeah. Because you have to take, okay, here's all the rules that applied last time. Let's take that, dump that, and now here's the new rules we have to apply. And the problem is that you don't really know what those rules are. Yeah. Until you're in the situation. Them. Yeah. Because until like I'm with someone, until I'm at that bar experiencing them to like, I won't know how I'm gonna feel until it happens. Yeah. And then when it happens, then you have to turn on your brain and be like, okay, here's how I want to react. Here's how I want to handle the situation. And that's where you can like set that standard,
Are there signs that girls are really about that open life? Or are they just saying it? Like, are there things that like ways to communicate where like, okay, she really is about it and she's not just saying it just
without saying
to please me or...
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I would think, like, if me and this girl are at a bar and we're talking about how hot each, other girls are or even other guys, like, okay, that's kind of like us telling each other, okay, we're open to, like, being together, but also saying how attractive we are to other people.
So it's transparency. Like, it's being, like... If you never really know about something, just ask. It's so hard because it's like, so do you like open relationships? Because it's like, oh, fuck, this is so weird. Yeah, but
sound like a job interview and shit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you want to kind of like start off with like, just kind of getting to know the person. And then when you feel comfortable, it's all about your comfort and their comfort. Because if you ask a question and you get silence. Yeah. Yeah. But if you like ask a question and they smile and then they kind of like ask why you're asking the question, they want to know a little bit more like where your intention's coming from because you have to understand like as guys, women are always on the defensive with us.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Because there's a lot of us that are very aggressive. Yeah. And not very sensitive towards emotion and what's going on. They're just like, I'm man, penis inside you. Right.
They're protecting their physical and emotional safety.
Exactly. And as men, we have to be more aware of that. When I say, because there's a difference between men and boys. Boys are the ones that are go and just not do whatever and be whatever and then someone else has to deal with that emotional baggage. Yeah. Men understand that like I am an entity and you yourself are an entity. I'm not here to hurt. I'm here to have fun. I'm here to go forward. I'm here to progress. You never ever. A wise man always taught me never go back. Always traverse, because if you traverse, you can always go forward.
I like that.
Mm-hmm. So what is the what would be the opposite of monogamy? Like.
So polyamory.
Polyamory. What would be the polyamory basic? Like, what is that like? But you're dancing bachata. You're doing a basic style. You say you throw a little hip in there, little musicality. What is that open, that polyamory basic? Like, what is that dance looking like?
How I would put that in dance terms?
No. what is that conversation? First conversation. How do
you start it?
Yeah. How do you? Yeah.
Oh, how do you open up that discussion?
Yeah.
It happens naturally. Yeah, it's not something that you like have to actively seek. Like your mind is this beautiful thing, right? Anything that you think of, anything that you kind of set your mind to, it happens in your world. You just have to believe in it, right? So I used to be monogamous, and I used to think like, there's no way in hell I'm gonna meet any girl who's gonna be interested. Like, no fucking way.
Yeah.
And then I just was like, no, but I want it because of this, and I want it because it makes me feel good, and I want to be able to be myself, and I want that person to be themselves, and I just believed in it. I just was like, okay, well, let me just kind of like whatever. And as time progressed, things kind of happened, and it's not like I actively sought it. It more like kind of just happened by a whim. It more just was like, I met someone, she was into this, and then like I brought up the discussion, just kind of asked her like, how would you feel about this? And then they were just like, well, I kind of be open to it, but they have to talk about things that like we would like, things that we wouldn't like, and then it kind of just like it happens. It's just all about how comfortable you feel and secure you feel with this other person.
It seems like it's like getting to know each other.
Yeah.
To started with, right, and then in a sense you kind of get that vibe from that, from that phrase of knowing each other. And you know what? Like I hope a lot of guys, out in the dance scene see this, because I think a lot of guys, and I always say this in our previous episodes, that they join dance because of the girls, right? They have no game. Let's be real. And, dance is an easy ticket into girls because you don't have to communicate, right? All you have to know is your basics. I lost my thought.
Okay. I mean, yeah. That's a good thought.
Yeah.
You want to comment on that?
So,
You're good.
Yeah, you're
you good? Okay, cool. So I think what guys do is it's the dynamic between men and women, right? So men have to be on the hunt, right? Yeah. We always have to like search and find. Women kind of, wait for it, right? Yeah. And they kind of let things happen, and that's beautiful. I wish I had that luxury. Like I wish I could just be like,
right.
Yeah. Wait for some, but I don't have that.
But that's our evolutionary history.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just what we've always been. And I feel like guys have to understand that like you get more bees with honey than you do vinegar. And what I mean by that is that like you can't come into this dance scene expecting sex, expecting this. Like if it happens naturally because of how you feel and you come in to have a good time, then that's a different story because you guys are on that same page. But getting fucked up and making someone feel uncomfortable, it's just not acceptable, man. Like, I understand you're having a good time, but like, it has to be consensual. Like, you have to like get the okay from the person beforehand. You have to make that person feel safe because there's certain things that you can't do on the dance floor that you can't do off the dance floor. Like if I have a relationship with somebody, right, and we have a connection and we've already been involved. Her and I already know that we can do that on the dance floor.
Right.
But if I don't know you, I'm not going to touch you like that because it's not my right and it's your body. Like I can't, so I had this one interaction. This was at a Congress. We were social dancing on the dance floor and this girl touched my dick.
Like how'd she do it? Like
we were in a shadow position. I was in front, she was behind me, and I took her hand to rub it on my hip. But she went
for all of it.
Yeah.
Did she like rub it or like?
She grabbed it.
No.
She like came out full and like yeah.
She fully gripped on.
Fully gripped onto it, and I was like, I stopped, and I was like. Because I was like, oh, and I didn't like the way it made me feel.
Made you feel uncomfortable?
It made me feel like I was a toy, an object that I was just like this. I just felt my self-worth went from being here to being like, I felt dirty. Yeah. And I don't like that feeling. And if I don't like that feeling, why would I make a woman or girl feel the same way? And guys don't look at that. Guys look at this as like, whoa, shit,
that's a signal to go up to the room.
Yeah, you were giving me the vibe, so blah, blah, blah. Like, no, man, don't go based on that. It's because you have to be very forward. Like, hey, may I touch you? Like, may I do this? Like, can I do this? Are you okay with this? That way you get consent the entire way. That we never make anyone feel uncomfortable. Because that's the biggest thing when it comes to sex. Is like, some people want you to be forward and go for it, which is cool. But then you kind of have to like, where is this like area where I'm forward, but also spontaneous at the same time? And for guys, it's really, really hard for us to kind of decipher when and when not.
I agree with that for sure. Yeah.
What did you do in that dance?
Man, we have to be assertive, but also we have to have their consent. And those almost those things are they don't directly contradict each other, but it is.
It kind of does.
It feels that way. Yeah.
So the more you communicate and say like and ask, that's the only way you're gonna officially know.
But I feel like that's not romantic.
It's not, but it's safe.
It is.
It's open communication, right?
Yes, it is always safe. You can never mess up when you communicate, ever.
True.
Yeah.
You know, but I feel like you can kill the mood. You can kill the vibe.
Yeah.
If you ask too much.
You too much. Yes.
Too much.
But if you ask like a little bit, here and there, and like
right,
very subtle, very like nicely, it's okay. It's.
Are there non-verbal consensual yeses that you can get?
I'm gonna say on the dance floor, no.
Okay. How about in sex?
In sex, yes. But that's in my perspective because I haven't had sex with the world, so I can't really say that.
Okay, gotcha.
But I feel like, when it comes to sex, I just always believe in always talking beforehand and always getting that. Because before I even get into bed with somebody, like I like to ask them what they're into, because I'm not just going to go into it and just do something and then just like, nigga, what the fuck?
Right. I think there is. I think there's those instances where, you're trying to poke the wrong hole and then they just, it's one of those.
I was trying to be like, creative.
I was trying to explore.
It's like, no, not that way. What the fuck? Yeah.
One of the perceptions of I think people who are into polyamory is that their sexuality is fluid too. Have you found that to be the case, or
what do you mean sexuality fluid? That's a little confusing.
They may not necessarily just only be straight or maybe bi. I don't know if that's the case or not.
Well, that's based on preference. It's come up. I had to really ask myself, like, what do you enjoy? Like, do you like, women?
Receiving or catching, right?
So, and I got when I was younger, I used to get called gay all the time for dancing. Like, there was this girl who made this song, wrote it on a piece of paper in class, stored it away somewhere, and then opened it up one day and just read it out to the class, and everybody laughed. She called me the dancing queen, and it hurt. But then I had to ask myself, am I, do I prefer men over women, or do I do this? It's like, no, I just enjoy dancing. And as I got older, I really asked myself that question because it's like, as you're, as guys, you like, you banter, you kind of make fun. Oh, what do you do? What do you this? What do you that? And that's not really good for us because then we can't be ourselves. Because not all of us, especially Latino men, we're really emotional. Yeah. And we're very sensual, but we can't express it because all of a sudden, it makes us too emotional. And then our manhood, our man card's pretty much taken away from us, right? Revoked. So I have to ask myself, do I enjoy these things? And it's not something that I personally enjoy. Like, if I look at a woman, I just go, oh. Yeah. Like, there's something about her body, the way she moves, her hair, her lips. When I look at a man, I don't have that same feeling. Do I think he's handsome? Yes. Right. Do you think he has an amazing body? Yes. But that's all that I feel. Right. And I had to really ask myself.
Acknowledgement.
I acknowledge you. Like, if you're a handsome guy, like, dude, like, there's even been guys that like, dude, that guy's really fucking handsome. Like
I'll say, that, like, the way I've always phrased it, actually I had this conversation yesterday. I'll be like, I think that guy gets pussy. Oh. That's me saying. I think he gets laid. That's me saying he could get acknowledging his attractiveness, but not saying I'm attracted to him.
Yeah. And not acknowledging the fact that you feel it just like everyone else feels it, but it's not like that's not something you're into. Yeah. What about you guys? You guys into
what?
I don't know.
I mean, the question I was going to ask you earlier is like, or I was going to say like, how do I know I'm gay if I never had a dick in my mouth? Yeah. And I mean, I don't know, like I've always only been attracted to women, so it's like I feel like that's what I'm attracted to.
Yeah, you can't conclude something you haven't tried.
I've thought about it. I definitely thought like, damn, what if am I attracted to dudes? If like if I could say that, but I think that's where it ends. I can just acknowledge another man's attractiveness, but I don't think I would never pursue it.
Yeah. It all comes to your curiosity level.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. if you like want to like, you can think about it, sure, but do you want to like pursue it? And then
right.
you shouldn't. I feel like guys should not judge themselves for wanting to go outside the box, you know, because there's guys who are very much so straight, but have like a secret life behind it because they can't feel like they can be open about it to their friends. Because if you're bisexual, be bisexual. Don't hide it.
Right.
You know, like if you wanna swing both ways, swing both ways. There's nothing wrong with that. But because in our Latin culture, it's very like, no, you cannot. You're casted out. But because of it, and I think that's so like why do we have to be like that?
Yeah. Culture and society.
Yes.
So literally and figuratively outside the box.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I think I'm like you. I've acknowledged like I'll acknowledge a good guy. Like, hey, you know, he's a good looking guy, but you know, it just goes beyond that. Never thought about exploring it. You know, I get attracted to women. I have gotten those instances though when sexually, you know, the girl has tried to do some pitching instead of the catching. So that was my line right there. You know, I drew the line. I was like, oops, you know, I'm only a pitcher. Let's keep it that way.
Yeah.
I'd be open to it.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I truly believe if I'm doing something sexual with a woman, no matter what it is, it doesn't make me not straight.
Yeah.
Less or more of a man. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like
as long as it's with a woman, like if she, you know, like pegging and all that shit, like, or you know, fingering, like,
I think you would consider it more though. Like after that, whatever the case is.
Not in my head.
What if you enjoy it?
Okay, then I enjoy it. But I'm enjoying it because it's a woman who's doing it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just because
I feel like it could be better, or you know, like a woman can fix a car, but a guy may be able to fix a car a little faster or a different way.
I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that.
It's just like me saying you get fucked by a girl with a strap on.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You're
but that's my
enjoying
girl
it.
fucking me.
Yeah, with the strap on.
Right, but in my head, I'm not looking at the dildo. I'm thinking about the girl.
Yeah.
But wouldn't it be like when you're having sex, you're not just thinking about the person like, oh, Ivan's making love to me right now. Mm-hmm. There's pleasures that come with it. You know, there's sensations that come with everything. You also got to include
I'm
those.
thinking about the person. Like,
yeah. It's because it's more of the experience of it with the person. It's like you ever ride a roller coaster with someone,
mm-hmm.
and when you ride a roller coaster with your cousin, it's like they're having fun doing it, so it makes it more enjoyable.
Right.
You know, if you ride it by yourself, then you know it's a different experience. So just like, you know, if that's what, you know, someone enjoys, you're not thinking about the
ride.
I think you're thinking about more of the physical act of it.
Yeah.
And that
but it takes a lot of part in it.
It does.
Yeah.
It's a huge part in it.
Yeah.
It's part of it. But, you know, I feel like the mentality of like, oh, it's only physical. Sex isn't only physical. Sex is physical, emotional, mental. So in your mind, if you're like, you know, hey, like if this is what we experience together, this is between you and I, and this is something I feel comfortable with you, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But you know, to say that like it's gonna be like more or less this or that, it's like it's kind of hard. Like it's like you have to experience it to really get the full full understanding of it. You know,
if you were to put a banana right now in your mouth, would that make you gay?
Mm-mm.
But it's phallic shaped.
Yeah, but it's just a banana.
Right.
So it's the thought.
Because bananas have nutrients.
Yeah.
So you're thinking about getting the nutrients, you know, as you're thinking. So in that case, if I were to put a dildo with a head, a piece of plastic with a head and a vein on it, does that make me gay?
Mm-mm. That's what I'm saying. It's not about being gay. It's about considering it, exploring.
What do you mean by exploring?
Yeah, what does that mean?
I think it's more about. I mean, if I don't know about this like far into detail, but if you're bisexual, are you gay?
No,
you're bisexual.
You're bisexual.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
So, you know, it won't make you gay if you consider a guy.
Then by your logic, the way I would phrase it is, I'm bisexual, but I only sleep with women.
That's okay.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. Like everyone can have their preferences. It's like there's no. I feel like we think that there's one standard of how we can treat our sexual lives. No.
Yeah.
You want to have sex with an 80-year-old woman because that's been your fantasy since you were a kid. You go do that.
Right.
There's no one else's business. If that's what makes you happy, you go fucking do that.
There's no teeth.
Exactly. No teeth.
That gummy head.
Right.
Give me that gummy girl.
Yo.
So yeah, man, like whatever it is that you enjoy, you go for that.
Yeah.
And fuck what anyone else thinks. It does not matter. What makes you happy is the only thing that
And you know
matters.
what, like basically what happens, behind closed doors, it kind of stays with you, right? We're not gonna go out like saying to the whole world either.
Yeah.
It kind of goes back to the conversation, the pre-show we had, where I said about family business, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you broadcast it, you're letting other people's opinion in, but
Yeah,
Nah.
that is true. Yep.
yeah,
You got to know who you open it to.
yeah.
Yeah. Can I touch on just like some of the things I like in the dancing?
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah,
change?
Joe, we're going into a different podcast.
So I think socially, I think what we need to do. Here's what I feel like the leads need to do and the follows need to do. I feel like the leads need to be more aware and conscious of what they're doing when they're drinking. And I think the leads also need to like pump their brakes a little bit. Because I feel like we want to do all these fancy moves and we want to be so flashy, and we focus more on the moves than we do the connection. And I would like to see more leads take their time, because I'll see everybody like going to a bachata basic when the song just started, but like you didn't, and you're doing already 2 turns before the second or third count hasn't even come. Like take your time, relax. Take it easy. There's no rush. When you're in a relationship with somebody, you don't rush it and go straight into bed. You kind of like, because what comes with that.
Yeah.
So you kind of take your time and like relax with it, And I think we have to focus more on taking our time, building trust, and building an understanding between everybody. Because guys think primarily with their dicks, right? Women don't think the same way. And we're just like, oh, how can we do this? How can we do this? And it's like, it shouldn't be about that. Like if it happens, cool. Then it was consensual because we know like it just kind of happened out that way.
Yeah.
But if we're aiming to that, then it makes it more of like a diabolical plan that we're trying to get. And that's not the environment, the social scene that I want to live in. I don't want anyone to feel like, to be like a piece of meat and to be hunted down. Like that's not, I don't feel comfortable in that scene. And the Latin scene shouldn't be like that. Dance is free. It's open. It's expression. It's love. It's hate. It's tears. It's everything that you could want all in one package. But we have to make it safe, and I feel like right now it's just not safe, right?
Hey, go ahead.
You said you had advice for the leads. Mm-hmm. Now, do you have advice for the follows?
Yeah. So for the follows, I'd say trust. And behind that, it's like, well, I can't trust you if you're not leading me properly. Yes, you are totally right, but it takes 2 to tango. One person is not at fault. Both people are at fault. If something happens, if a count's off, it's not just that person's fault. It's both. Because once you get in the dance floor, you are officially a team, right? It's not me as a lead, you as a follower. We're not separate. We're now one, right? So if I mess up, it's not up to you to criticize me and point the finger at me and make me feel bad. It's up to you to help me. Take a moment to shine. Take a moment to take the crowd's attention more on you. That way, my mistake isn't amplified. Because we're a team at that point. If I'm in a relationship with you and I fuck up for some reason, you're not just going to be like, look at this guy, he messed up, blah, blah, blah. What you're going to do is to be like, okay, like, how can we make this situation better? What are we going to do now? How are we going to flip this? And how are we going to be a part of the team to make it better? So I'd say follows, just trust your leads just a little bit more. And I also want to build a platform for follows to really express how they feel, because it's hard to really be honest about how you're feeling when you also don't know how to communicate it. Because just like we don't know how to communicate, sometimes other people, it's hard for them to do the exact same thing. I think we need to stop looking at each other as enemies and more as equals when it comes to men and women to men. Because I love feminism, because I love women that stand up for themselves, as they definitely should. But I also don't like misandry. And misandry is a hate towards men. And men are awful and have been awful for a very long time. But the day and age that we live in now is we can't build anything better if we can't see the light of what's happening. If our follows look at us as enemies, that's just what we're going to be. And the only way we can make a better tomorrow is if we say, you know what? You're right. It has been like this. This is a problem. But I'm going to do my part as a person to do that, to change that. Like if I feel like leads are too strong, right? I'll come back and I'll make my lead a little bit lighter, right? If I feel like if I feel like saying no to a song, like say if I'm like social dancing with somebody, right, and I'm not digging the song and we're already a minute into it, I'm not gonna feel bad about saying no to it because I'm like, you know what, I'm not digging this. And if you get offended by it, I totally understand because it's a little embarrassing. But I'm not doing this to embarrass you. I'm doing this to give you quality over quantity. You know, I don't want to like, I don't want to give you this like a shitty version of me because now we're dancing and now you're not enjoying it and neither am I. You feel it, I feel it, but now I have to stop it. Like I was in Canada and it happened to me and I felt so bad. It happened like 3 songs in a row and I couldn't figure out why. And this was the music. I wasn't feeling it.
Yeah.
I started dancing with this girl. And we were like 30 seconds in. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I can't do this right now. And she's like, why? I was like, I'm just not feeling it. She's like, thank you for being honest. Thank you for being forward about it because I appreciate that because I felt that. And I knew you didn't want to do it, but you did it anyways to please me. But the fact that you stood up and said you didn't want this, I respect that. And a lot of follows sometimes take it the wrong way. Leads do it too. Yeah. Because the follows are like, oh, I can't dance with you because my heels hurt. They're just like, oh, whatever, blah, blah. Yeah. But there has to be a level of understanding that it's not always about you. It's about the circumstance, about the situation. And also could be self-reflect. Maybe you make the person feel uncomfortable. Yeah. Maybe you should open up a dialogue and say, hey, the last 4 dances we haven't danced. Why? Haven't made you feel uncomfortable. Now you really know, because if you really want to dance with this person, you want to put forth effort, then you have to open up a dialogue and say, hey, what's the problem? What's going on? How can we fix this? Right? Rather than just kind of like, all right, well, let me just avoid this person awkwardly and like,
yeah, you know? It's crazy that you say that because I get in that mentality where like I'm in a dance and I'm not enjoying it, and it's like, damn, like I'm already in a bad mood in a way. I'm already in a bad mood. So what I actually started doing is I just got to up my playlist, my bachata playlist or whatever it is. So what I do if I don't know the song and I'm not dancing, I'll Shazam it, and you know if it comes up, I'll listen to it. You know, on my time off. And I'm like, all right, cool. I could do this. I could do that. Just so I could get myself to try to enjoy the dance if it ever happens to that case. Mm-hmm. Now that you're, you're traveling more, right? You're getting booked and whatnot. In our previous episode, which was Tony and Gracie, they started doing the fusion salsa. Mm-hmm. And, with some of the original salseros, they got pushed back from it. Mm-hmm. Have you encountered that? You know, like do you see that? Like, oh, like what the fuck are you doing? Like, yeah, like really, like, yeah.
Just this past weekend in Minnesota, dude. This organizer brought me to tears, dude. So
no shit.
Yeah, man. But it wasn't his intention. It was him being honest about how he felt, and I appreciate that because it made me build a thicker skin. So we sat down in a room and he gave me the whole spiel, like, you know, here's what I think about it. He asked me what we need as a performers. I told him. He's like, well, here's how I think about it. He said, I don't believe in, bachahop, because it's bachata, it's not hip hop. And I was like, okay, and I understood where he came from, but it hurt because like this craft I've been perfecting since I was a kid. Right. It's not like something I just pulled out of my ass.
Build it, make it bigger.
Exactly. And I would want you to appreciate the artistry of it and something different, but the problem is that like, our culture is so based on being one specific way and not broadening around to being different, because we have these emotional feelings of different, but we have this standard of perfection. Now, that doesn't make any sense. If we are people who are different and people of culture and a people of variety, why do we have to live these perfect lives, Yeah. So afterwards, I went upstairs. I got in the shower. I'm sitting in the shower crying and shit because like, fuck, man, like all this work I've been doing is probably for nothing. Like, God.
What specifically did he tell you?
He basically said in terms he didn't believe in it. Okay. He just like, I don't think it's gonna go anywhere. But he offered other things in replacement of it. And I'm just like, yo, like I would want, if you're an organizer, I hope you would believe in me. But that's not like what he opened up with.
How did he start the conversation? Like what did he do to get you to the room to have that conversation?
Well, I actually invited him. I approached him and I was like, yo, what's up, and then they kind of came, but I want to get into specifics.
Yeah, no, of course.
Because it's this is definitely a communication thing. Like how do you? Yeah, I guess I'm just wondering, like, how did that talk happen?
Well, it just kind of you
just asked for advice and
because I wanted to go to his events and I asked him like, hey, like, what's up? Okay. And then he just was like, well, here's what I feel about it, because it coming from a business standpoint, you're thinking of it more in terms of how can I make money? Of course. How much I'm gonna pay you X amount of money to bring you out here. I'm gonna fly you out here. I'm gonna get you a room. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna feed you. and that's already, you know, X amount of dollars. So what are you going to give to me in return for these X amount of dollars?
Like an investment.
Pretty much. It's all an investment.
Yeah.
It's about the dollars. And, you know, he was like, it's legal prostitution. And I just was like, whoa, that's not what it is. But okay.
Yeah.
That's his perspective. And it's a totally valid, you know, like stand on it. You know, I might not see it the same way, but that doesn't mean that he's wrong. Right. And it means that he just has a different perspective on it. So, but just to go back to back to that story, like I was crying and I get out the shower. And my dance partner, she's there with me, and she's in the room, and I come out and I sit down, and this was on a Saturday night after we just had done our performance. Everybody loved it. We got a standing ovation.
Wow,
it was
congrats.
great. You know, like it felt amazing. But all I could think about was that last conversation I just had.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there and I'm like crying and shit, and she's like, "It's okay. Like it's not, you know, it's just one person's opinion." I'm like, "Yeah, but you know, I want to do this. Is like where my heart's at. Like I love this. I've been doing this for years." And then right when I was at the point of like the tipping point, right, I get a knock on the door, right? And then I'm like, oh shit. So I thought it was the organizer because he was going to come up and hang out with us before we went downstairs to go dance. So I get my shit together, and then like a group of like 8 people would just walk right in. So it's like Douglas, it's Terry, it's the people from Milwaukee, like all my like people from
all
Chicago.
Homies, right?
Yeah, right? And they're all like, what's good, blah, blah. I'm like... And I'm like fucking like shirtless. I got like, you know, like my drawers on, and like everyone's and they're like, oh, it's good. And they're like, I love your performance, like giving great energy, blah, blah. And like, I'm sitting there. I was like, if you guys only knew like what would just happen in my head right now. But like they came in with all this love, and it filled me up. It made me feel more at home and understand that, like, you know, even though you have this feeling for this person has this one feeling, that does not mean that it's correct or incorrect. Like still progress where you're going. And I don't know. It just felt good to be surrounded by people that you love when you're like going through such a hard time as an artist, you know?
It all starts on like who you're like surround yourself with, right? Because that's what they say, like surround with the ones that you feel comfortable with. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
So I'd say that's the one thing that was the most struggle thus far. That kind of really pushed me overboard. And then and yeah.
Okay.
This, as far as like the salsa fusions again,
it's Tony and Gracie.
Tony and Gracie. I feel like that's part of their struggle. You know, like because like
that's the reason I brought it up, because you're trying to grow into this that hasn't really been established.
Yeah.
So
they had the exact same conversation with the promoter out in LA.
Yeah.
The exact same one you had.
And that's good, because you know you have to you have to do something.
Same
different.
thoughts they had are the ones you're having, and you know, maybe you guys run into a congress together, and man, good people to talk to. And the thing that I could tell you is keep doing what you're doing, man, because just how they established something that they're doing now, it's a big thing. Mm-hmm. Keep up with it, man, because you know, it'll go far. Yeah, it'll go far.
Episode 3, Home Remedies with Tony and Gracie. You want to hear that story?
Yes, rep it.
It's only in audio form?
Yeah, only audio form.
Yeah.
Home Remedies, what was that?
It's an episode. It's
that's the name. That's the title of the
episode.
Of the episode, Home Remedies.
Yeah. Cool. All right.
Yeah.
It's a good episode. Yeah. Go check it out, man.
Yeah. Check it out.
Yeah.
I had somebody come up to me, what was it, Thursday? And he was like, bro, I love what you're doing, because it's not about you anymore. It's about Chicago. Like, you're putting Chicago on the map now. And like when he told me that, I'm just like, damn, like cool. Like I always felt like it was me, like it was solo, but like now I'm doing something like bigger for my city, and like that's cool. And that's what I feel like we should be focusing on, because like at CSBF last year, all the New York cats came and they were all on stage, and it was like it was their stage. And I didn't like that, you know, because it was like, this is
our home.
This is where we come from. Right. Why are we allowing other people to come? And it's not a competition, but it's just like I think we have to believe in ourselves more.
Which event you said?
That was CSBF.
Okay.
Yeah,
I agree. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, because you know, and because they come in New
York
come
deep.
They come deep,
and we should do the same.
We should do the exact same thing.
CISC feels more like a Chicago event.
Yeah.
CSBF feels less of a Chicago event.
Yeah, because it's more of like, CSBF has everybody. You'll have probably 60 performances in one night, and it's just very, very overwhelming. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So
hey, shout out to CISC.
Yeah. You guys put on a really good event. So thank you for holding down Chicago. CSBF too. Thank you guys so much. Like you guys put together your artist well. The organization at CSBF has been absolutely phenomenal since day one, in my opinion.
Good people.
To put on 60 performances?
It takes a lot, and it takes a lot of manpower to do that too. So plus with ticketing, everything else, the videos,
even the after parties.
Like, oh my god!
To still be working at 4 a.m. Like,
but be working like happy, and like you know, not just like, all right, get your ass in there, you know. Yeah.
We asked all of our guests, if you could dance with somebody who's not a dancer, most likely somebody famous, who would it be?
Scarlett Johansson.
Damn.
Oh shit.
Before she had a baby, because when she had a baby, it ruined it for me because I was like super in love with her. But I'd still dance with her now.
Hey, wasn't that Tony's answer?
No.
Okay.
What style would you dance with Scarlett?
Bachata for sure.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. What song?
You're a bachata?
I'd start off with something slow.
Okay.
You know, take it easy, and then
What song would you use?
What song would I use? Let's see. Did I meet her during the day or during the night?
Ooh.
Oh. Well, so dancing happens at night, so let's stick to that.
Stick to night.
And what character are you envisioning her? Because I'm thinking the one from the Marvel.
with
the Russian spy. Yeah. That's what I'm thinking. When I think Scarlett Johansson, that's what I think.
Man, I don't think I'm able to take that, dude. I would want Scarlett in her like just jeans, shirt, just being her average her.
Gotcha.
You know,
Okay.
because if she's all dolled up, like I'll get all nervous and I couldn't you know.
She'll lead you.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, what do you want to do, girl?
Yeah, that one she'll lead you. Yeah.
So just like in herself, it had to be a Soul Trick song. It had to be.
Hey, shout out to Soul Tricks.
Yeah, 'cause Soul Tricks, he's oh my god, he's a phenomenal. I actually met him before he got big.
Okay.
He had all his music on SoundCloud, and I saw it and I messaged him like, dude, and he was the first person when I first started dancing bachata like this style. He was the only person that was making music, and I was like, bro, like keep doing what you're doing. You're great. You're amazing. Blah blah. He's like, oh thanks man, I appreciate it. Hopefully I see you soon. And then I saw him in LA like 2 months later. I was like, I'm the guy that messaged you. He was like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
So ever since that day, we've been really cool. Whenever I see him, I always ask him for advice on things.
Yeah.
Abdel and Letty. Abdel actually gave me the best advice I could possibly
They're your
ask
style,
for.
right?
Yeah, they're bachata flow. Yeah.
You guys just saw each other at a congress?
Yeah, at the Canada event.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
okay.
I saw them last year too, but last year he gave me the best advice, and I was like, Abdel, like I always want to be here, you know, like I want to be at this spot, and like I want to be better than where I'm at right now. And he's like, bro, it's not about the goal, it's about the journey to the goal.
Damn.
You know, he's like,
Yeah.
sure, you can be there, but like once you get to that point, like you're always gonna search for something else. So just enjoy it. Like he goes, I've been doing this shit for 5 fucking years, and I'm just now getting noticed. And he's like, think about that. 5 years. For 5 years, I thought I wasn't shit, and then one day it just happened. He's like, so just enjoy it. Like don't like put too much energy into what it can be. Don't try to control it. Let it happen. Let everything just be yourself, and that's all you have to do. I was like, it touched me. And then I saw him this year. And
that advice goes for
yes.
Yeah.
anything. Yeah.
And it kind of like, it hit me. And then this year I saw him, I was like, and I thought he forgot me, you know, and I saw him again. He was like, "No, man, I remember you." He was like, "Hell yeah." He's like, "Keep doing what you love, what you're doing. Keep on pushing." So,
hey, maybe you guys could get a collab going.
He doesn't like doing collabs.
Okay.
Yeah,
You asked, I assume?
Yeah.
Okay.
I asked him. We just want to, because he's like me. He likes preparation for things. You know, just going on a spot and doing it just never turns out the way you want to.
You plan
and
it.
Yeah, and maybe it just wasn't the time. Like I'm not gonna take it personally. You know, maybe he just wants to do something a little bit different.
If someone ever asked you to do a collab, to participate in a collab, would you do it?
Oh yeah, of course.
Okay.
I love collaboration.
Okay.
Who do you want to collab with here in Chicago?
I'd like to collab with pretty much everybody. Like my dream one day would to have like a fucking Chicago all-star team. You know, have fucking Kim, have Chris, have George, have like any director that has a team in Chicago. Let's put us all together in one room, in one routine, and just kill that shit just for our city. Like fuck everything else. Let's all get together and just put something fly together.
Yo.
You know, I thought about that, but it's just getting everyone together in their times, because everyone's working on their own thing. Like Zeke, I would love to do something with Zeke. You know, like I think because he brought like bachata to Chicago. He's like the granddad of the city. If it wasn't for him, we wouldn't be here. You know. So I like to get us all together to do that, but it's just, you know, organizing that, having times for that takes time, you know, and like, I don't know, you know, maybe one day it'll come to fruition, you know, but if we speak it now, maybe.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So
right now, put it out on the Treyguey Podcast.
Yeah, so yo, if you guys like Chicago artists, you guys ever want to do something, my door is always wide open to you guys. I love you guys, no matter who you are, where you come from. So and that's directly from Ivan to you guys. So like, you know, we're very much a collaboration thing. Like
For sure.
I don't want to be competitive. I
Right.
just want to be together.
Gotcha.
Cool.
Do you want to shout out your social media? How people can contact?
Oh yeah. So you can contact me on Facebook, Ivan Cruz. You know, if you can't find that because whatever, Ivan Cruz is another one. Ivan Cruz is my artist name. Find me on Instagram, which is Bachahop. That's my style. Bacha, Bacha, Hop, Hop. So it's really easy to remember. Follow us. Also the team page, EDC, Esprit de Corps, ESPRITDECORPS, Esprit de Corps. Follow us there. We are always big on self-expression, love, and being yourself. So if you like us, follow us. Hopefully I see you at a Congress or something and we could chop it up. I'm a big hugger, so if you come up to me with a handshake, I'll give you a handshake, but I'm deep down going to want to give you a hug. So yeah. But yeah, thank you guys for listening.
Yeah. Find us on the Treyguey Podcast. We're on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. We're not on Snapchat. We probably won't ever be. Yeah.
We gotta do, we make a TikTok.
Yeah, follow us. Give us a review on iTunes. We're also on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play,
YouTube.
and YouTube. Make sure you guys go follow us, subscribe, hit that bell right up here. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to do that. But make sure you guys follow us, leave us a review. And again, let us know what you guys want to hear. If you guys want to ask us to, any specific questions, let us know. What about you?
Yeah. I mean, just follow my Instagram and Twitter. Don_Carmazo. So you
Cool. You'll be able to find my information on on the Treyguey socials. This was your specific episode, man. Any final words you want to throw out? The camera is yours.
To my artists, be yourself. Don't allow others to dictate how you feel about yourself, because you are your own person and no one else can be like you. And that's where your uniqueness comes from. For a large part of my career, I've always felt like I needed to fit into this mold. So don't feel like you need to. You also need to stay in between the lines. Jose Serrano told me that, like, you can be yourself, but you have to stay in between the guidelines. And I like to live outside the box, which is good. But if we dance bachata, we have to stay in between the lines for a little bit of the time, but then also venture out. So artists, be yourself. Students, constantly train. Don't stop. The only way you can get better is you just do it over and over and over again. So yeah, never lose self-confidence in yourself, because you're beautiful, and understand that you're beautiful no matter what you are, what shape you are, what you look like. Black, white, Asian, Puerto Rican, Mexican. It does not fucking matter. Dance is open to everybody. So yeah.
Deep words.
Yeah.
Deep words by the one and only. All right, guys. Well, this was Ivan Cruz's episode. I hope you guys liked it. Again, follow us on socials. You got anything?
No, that's it.
Awesome. Cool. Dope show, man.
Yep.
Hope you guys like it.
Peace.
Peace. Treyguey out.
This is Zeke Rubalcaba. You're listening to the Treyguey Podcast. Ouch.
Hey, what is up, guys? This is the Treyguey Podcast once again with my boy.
Don Carmazo.
It's your boy Javi. What's going on, man?
Man, chilling. We're coming close to so at the time of this recording, it's close to the end of the new year.
Yeah, we're about to end the fucking 2019, starting off 2020.
Yeah.
Any shit going on?
No, I just you get a little reflective on what happens in the past, and I got to start thinking about what's going on with the podcast and just in general.
Yep.
We've jumped into the YouTube game, the content game, the social media game.
Yo, man, I reflecting again, like you were saying, man. I didn't. Not that I didn't believe in us, but it was just like, yo, we've been doing this for years.
Yeah,
like, what the fuck?
Coming up in a year, yeah.
Fucking YouTubers and shit.
Yeah. So I started thinking about content and content creators, and like I just started thinking, like, I know for me, I try to support any creatives out there, any people with small businesses, any people with entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
I think we live in a time where we don't live in a monolith anymore. Like there isn't one thing or one company that controls everything.
Right.
Outside of Disney.
Yo,
but outside of everything else, outside of Disney, it's all, everything's fragmented. Like you can follow a YouTuber or a podcaster or a dancer, and to you it's somebody you admire, but to the rest of the world they might not even know who that is.
Right.
And I think that's good. That's good that I think now as an audience we can control who we support. And if we do support the people who bring us entertainment, we should find a way to financially support them.
Right.
Yeah. I mean,
Kind of like in a way supporting each other.
yeah.
Yeah, right?
Because if they don't, they will go away. I don't think we should wait for the cosign.
Yeah.
We shouldn't wait for the beer companies or the soda companies or the car companies to say, hey, we're gonna advertise with this podcaster or this company. Like you should try to support them any way you can.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think I'm coming off some little selfish because I want people to support us. I mean,
Right.
when there comes a way, I think just for content creators to not go away, just support them if they're dancers. Watch their videos, go pay for their privates. If they're just studio owners, pay for to rent the space. If it's a podcaster, if they got some type of advertisement or promo code, use it.
Right.
YouTuber, if they got like those Amazon links. Because if you don't, they're less likely to keep creating content.
Yeah.
And if something like that could definitely be encouraging.
Yeah.
Even if it's just if they put out merchandise, buy their merchandise. Support.
Yeah.
Or even if you don't, even if it's not monetary, I think something simple as sharing their
Like a
post
like,
or liking
following.
their post. Yeah, I think that helps a lot.
Yeah.
Because you may not financially support them, but somebody else can.
Right.
And don't wait till somebody big shares them. You should do it if you enjoy it.
Yeah. If it makes you laugh, fucking hit the like, right? Fucking
And
double
if it
tap
doesn't,
that
it
shit.
doesn't. Then
That's right.
you don't have to like everything.
Right. Yeah. That's where a lot of motherfuckers get a twist, right? Like, you see something you didn't like. Well, the next post might make you laugh, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Or they think like, oh well, that person is they have a sponsorship through one of the shoe companies.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like, oh, they made it now. But no. The shoe company's making just an initial investment. They're saying, hey, this dancer or this creator is can get me more. The relationship is beneficial for the future, not for the now.
Yeah.
You get paid. I think they get paid for what's gonna happen in the future,
Yeah.
not for what they have done at that point.
Exactly.
You don't make it once you get a sponsorship. You make it when you keep getting sponsorships.
Yeah.
When you keep renewing the contract. When you get more.
Yeah.
So
I think we go through that. It's we try to, for the interviewers and then the future interviewers that, jump on the podcast, it's like, we're also promoting you, right? Your name.
Yeah.
And then we're just providing the platform.
Right.
Yeah. There's not a podcast out there that's, like doing art, what we're doing basically.
Or at least our style.
Yeah, our style's
Yeah.
it's different. It's
Yeah.
different, right? Yeah.
And I think some of our competitors, actually, I encourage other people to do their shows because, the more people know about you,
Right.
they might just have a different audience.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I think I actually encourage people who do come on our show or did come on our show. Yeah, I do encourage them to go on other shows. For sure.
It's a different platform that you could approach because we like comedy, so we like making you guys laugh. And then another podcast might be a different approach that you also enjoy.
They might talk more like technique based,
Yeah,
more industry based. And,
yeah,
we start getting into it.
Although I am gonna pose this that we hold a lot of pride in doing in person interviews. I'm not gonna shoot, but that's the one we're doing.
Yeah, I mean, it's just because there's a lot of things in communication that's more than just verbal, right?
Absolutely.
Body language, tone.
The connection in general is completely different, and then we hold that.
I couldn't do a Skype interview.
Nah, yeah. I don't even have Wi-Fi at home. What the fuck?
Yo, get this man some Wi-Fi.
Yo. Go fund me page. Come on.
But shameless plug. We do have a promo code with Bachateando.
Let's go.
First week of April.
Let's go.
So Treyguey 2020. Treyguey 2020.
Let's go.
When you buy, when you purchase a full pass, you get a discounted price.
Let's go.
So that's just shameless plug. But use it if you plan on going or not, you know, whatever.
Yeah, you
Like,
said
I'm not gonna get offended if you guys don't. If you guys go and don't use it, you know.
Yeah.
So.
Well, so you ready for that tan line though?
Yeah.
Hey, let's get it.
So there's this game we are gonna play with some of our future guests. It's called Answer the Internet. Can you hold up the box?
Yep. Big old
And,
box, man. How many questions are these?
So it's a game by Barstool Sports. Actually, it's a company I've been watching that I've been following since like 2012. I remember when the companies only had like about 6 employees. Now they're like at 250. And then anytime they put out merchandise, I always try to support them to let the big companies know that, hey,
Barstool, baby.
to get your sports content, you don't necessarily just have to go to Fox Sports or ESPN. There are other companies that provide entertaining content.
Fuck Uno.
So I've always supported the smaller businesses.
It also says, you know, along with your support, it says questions are fucked up as you are. Let's jump into it.
So start us off with a question.
All right, let's go. Damn, grabbing 2 of them. Would you rather eat all your food through a straw or have all your food tossed into your mouth? Hey, don cremazo.
Let me see. Because if it's straw, that would have to be viscous or liquid.
Yeah. I'm going to go with having the food tossed into my mouth.
Okay.
I mean, there's times where like I'm eating a taco and I usually, if it's good, put a lot of salsa in there.
Yeah.
Man, I shove that motherfucker down.
Okay.
I know it's not like shoving it, but it's like throwing it in your mouth.
Are you okay with getting your outfit stained?
Damn. As long as it's not on Saturday night, gala night.
So you're not eating on Saturday.
Nah.
But this is every meal, though. This isn't just...
Every meal.
This is breakfast, lunch, dinner.
I'm okay with it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm okay with it, man. A little fun, little dirtiness doesn't bother me.
Okay. So with beer, how would you like? It would almost be like a funnel, or like
Yeah, you need a. Well, I mean,
any liquid basically, like
Right.
coffee or tea. Like it would have to be like.
I think it will help me fucking swallow the food down, like, right?
Yeah. So now become better swallow. What else can you do better?
Hey. Oh shit. Oh damn.
I think for me,
What do you-
I guess I would choose toss the food
Okay.
only because I prefer to chew.
Okay.
You know, the only things you can't really do is soup or any type of liquid.
Right.
but
Right.
Fuck it.
Yeah, I mean, like eating with a straw. Like sometimes you're just trying to fucking wrap shit up,
Yeah.
and you can't do that with a fucking straw.
Or spin zone. What if I only choose straw, so that way I only eat soups,
Ooh.
and that way you could try to eat a little healthier.
Hey, abs 2020.
Yeah.
Hey, bachateando.
Right.
Hey, I see where you're going.
Yep.
I see you.
As 2020.
I see you, boy.
Bachata 2020.
Damn. Treyguey 2020. Use that promo code. Let's do another one. All right. Shit. And by the way, these questions are like legit. Like I'm not making them up. They're legit as they come. Will you rather fart only once a year, but it's the worst smell ever? It's the worst smell in the world, and smell for 2 weeks, or fart like you do now and it doesn't smell, but color gas comes out of your ass?
So everyone will know I farted, but not smell it. Or you'll smell it, but you don't know who did it.
Right. And with the color gas coming out of your ass.
Right. Damn.
Damn, you leaving a trail.
Yeah.
Shit.
I guess if you're okay with isolating yourself for like
For the 2 weeks?
it'd be good. Because
Damn.
then now you have 50 weeks to like,
Yeah.
you don't have to worry about it.
I mean, is that some time that you will use your PTO and go on vacation?
I do think so.
Damn. Is that bad? The smell's that bad?
Yeah.
Or
Or maybe no PTO. Fuck your coworkers. Hey,
fuck my manager.
Yeah.
That race was bogus.
Just go into his office and just close the door.
Yeah. We need to talk.
Or go to her office and close the door.
We need to talk.
Yeah, I guess I wouldn't take any PTO,
Okay.
but I just wouldn't like. I'll go homework. I wouldn't
Okay.
and just try to wait out those 2 weeks.
Yeah. But you will kind of like isolate yourself from some
yeah,
people. Yeah. I mean, the smell would be pretty bad.
Right.
What do you think the smell? Like some rotten eggs?
What is the worst smell in the world?
I would say rotten. Oh, worst smell in the world?
Yeah.
Shit. I don't know, but after you have boiled eggs, man, you know you're ripping up.
Yeah.
They don't smell good. For you healthy eaters out there.
So which one are you choosing?
I'm gonna go with farting like I normally do, but having that color gas comes out of my ass.
Okay. Do you think the type of food would affect the color?
Damn, what can make my fart gas come out pink?
Like if you like eat like jalapenos, does it come out green?
Green?
If you eat like
that'd be cool. I'll be cool with that.
Like eggplant parmesan, does it come out purple?
Yeah, that'd be cool. I will want that, to be honest. I will want that.
What color would come out after you eat your girl?
Hey, I want to say pink. Pink.
All right.
Oh man, this game's intense, man. If you guys haven't checked it out, check this game out. If you have no game and you're trying to go on Tinder, get some questions off this. This shit will help you.
Yeah, so I mean, this game will play a future guest, and stay tuned for the next interview.
Yeah, it's gonna be a dope one, man. Hope you guys like it. Peace.
All right, later.